Wow. So, in looking at you and checking you out, doing my research, stuff like that. One of the things that kind of surprised me about you, you kind of look innocent. Like you don't look like you would do this, do that. Oh, God knows you wouldn't do this. Do you get that a lot from people out like in your everyday world, even on set? Like you just look innocent, like you would never do none of this.
All the time. It's part of my branding. It's the really, really cute, adorable, pretty little girl that does the filthiest, nastiest things you've ever seen. And I love that. I get off on like having that effect for people. A lot of people I'm really, really young. Like they think I'm like 19, 20, baby face, like, oh my God, you're so adorable. And I'm like, I am nearing the 30s and I am one of the most disgusting, filthiest people you'll ever meet. But look at me.
All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So, for all those crazy people out there who ain't tapped in, who don't know about your girl, the anal queen, give us your name and tell us what you do in a couple of seconds.
Hi, you guys. I am Avery Jane. I am an adult film star and content creator.
All right. I like that. So let's go back 4 years to where it all started for you. You were in retail. What's up with that? How did you get the gig to do retail?
Well, I've worked in retail kind of here and there over the years, and I ended up getting a job at Hustler Hollywood. The OG Hustler Hollywood, actually, like the very first store on Sunset Boulevard. I got a job there and just started working there, and somehow eventually that led to porn.
Wow. So I know through my research and things like that, you wanted to be in that world. Was that a dream job for you? How was that your first day? Were you in, just in amazement at, wow, I'm actually wanting this, and I actually got this job first?
So funny enough, okay, first of all, I don't have a dream job. I dream to do no work whatsoever and just relax all day, every day. That's the dream. But at the time I was at the time I was actually stripping, and I don't know, the strip club scene in LA kind of started to dip out a little bit. It kind of wasn't the best, and I was not surviving from stripping, and so I ended up going apply for 9-to-5s and got a job at a sex shop. So I kind of did both. I was stripping and working at Hustler for a little while, and then eventually I left stripping and just worked at the store for a couple of years.
All right. So you mentioned that you did stripping, even though the stripping didn't pan out for you the way you would have liked. I gotta imagine it did help you a little bit before you got the 9-to-5. Was that the case with the stripping?
I'd say so. I mean, stripping helped me out a lot over the years, and I loved it. Honestly, I loved stripping. I wish strip club culture was a little bit tweaked and a little bit different, but I loved stripping. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great. It definitely taught me a lot of good, life lessons that I could carry into other work. Like setting boundaries and standing up for myself, and being a boss, even if I'm working a job where I'm not the boss just yet.
Okay, I like that. So when you're stripping, those women, you guys have to climb on the pole and do all of these moves, dance moves, all of that stuff. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of exercise. You got to be strong. Are you in the gym? Is that how you were able to do that? What's up? Is Avery Jane in the gym 6 days a week? Let us know. What's up with Avery Jane in the gym?
Oh my God, no. So I actually, I didn't start going to the gym until about a year ago. Now I'm into gym life and I love being in the gym. But back then I won't even lie. When I first started stripping, I had no upper arm strength. I was super weak. Seeing me try to climb a pole was comedy. I really, really used the hours at the club to practice when people weren't in there, practice on slow nights. Like I started from ground zero. Thankfully, I at least had a dance background. I used to dance. So I was at least like musically and rhythmically sound, and confident with performing on stage, but I had no arm strength whatsoever and literally like looked like this little pathetic thing trying to climb a pole. And look how far we've come.
All right, okay. Yo, if you are just joining us, you are tuned in to the Pimp Gang Podcast, and we are here with the one and only diva. That's right, Anal Queen Avery Jane, one of the top in the adult film industry, picking her brain about her career. So let me ask you this. I know we mentioned to the retail store, you met some adult film entertainers there when they would come to the store. I'm aware of that. I did my research. My ears are to the streets. Who did you meet when you were at the retail store?
So the most memorable was Angela White. Um, there was something about it. She came into the store and I was kind of fairly new, and it was my first time really, really getting to like interact with a porn star up close. And just the way she was so graceful and so like intelligent, so kind, like she was very nice, and the way she commanded the attention of the store, because I remember as like a sales associate, I was really, really scared because I was like, oh God, like a porn star's coming and there's this huge line out the door, and what if the men get rowdy and like don't know how to handle themselves, like what if it gets crazy, like what do we do? And just to see the way that woman commanded the respect and attention of the entire event and store, and to see people patiently waiting in line to meet her. And she was very, very kind to me. I was just kind of like, wow, like, okay, like maybe the porn industry is different than like, what everyone kind of assumes and thinks. And so about a month later was when I started.
Okay. So you said you started a month later. That's 30 days, 31 days on a good month. What's up? What did she tell you, like, to really make you feel comfortable? I know she was pleasant to talk to, but what did she tell you to make you feel like, you know what, I could do this?
I want to say it's more so just like her energy and how she handled it. But I'll never forget, I asked her for a picture with her and she told me that I had a beautiful smile. And then I remember like it was like maybe it was like a month or so later, like it might have been when I started. I think I posted something about meeting her, and she had commented back and said, "You were the girl with the beautiful smile," and she had remembered me. And I
Mm.
was, it was like that very human moment of connection where I was like, that's actually really, really like neat, because I'm sure she meets a lot of people. And the fact that she just had that memory, I was like, oh wow, like, okay, I don't know. Something about human connection and like genuine human interactions, it gets me. And so I was like, let me see what that is in the porn industry.
Wow. Okay. So you mentioned you had started a month later or what have you. When you did start, were you nervous? Like, do you have any nervousness in your bones? Like, wow, I'm really about to do this. How was that first scene for you when you first got into the porn industry?
Um, it was a little nerve-wracking because, obviously once you start doing porn, um, you just kind of have to accept the fact that everybody in your entire life will see it. They will look at it, they will be sent it, like, so you kind of have to be okay with knowing that. So that kind of made me a little nervous where I was like, my family's gonna see this, it's gonna be a situation, it's gonna suck. But I had clear financial goals in mind, and I'm a very do what I want to do person. Nobody tells me what to do. Nobody tells me how to live. I like to be a wild card. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I want. And
Okay.
so, I had my little bit of nerves, but I had been contemplating it for a while. I'd been wanting to do porn since I was 18. But even at 18, I knew I'm too young to handle that industry. I would never, like, I'm not there emotionally. So I waited until I was what, 25, like 25, 26, sometime around there. I waited, even though it's something I'd been contemplating for years. So I think I had a few years to kind of work through the nervous feelings and really, really make the decision consciously.
I like that. I like that. Really able to sit and kind of think your thoughts through. That way you can make a wise decision, even if you go in the industry. I like that. I really like that. So you made a decision to go into porn. With you going in there, let me ask you this. I gotta ask you this because it bugs me. Why is this such a bad thing? Can it be that just someone doing the porn or in the adult entertainment industry, they're just like maybe an NFL player, maybe an NBA player who loves the game, right? Is that so? That means like a porn star, maybe they just love sex. What's up with that? Can it just be that that person just loves sex?
It can. I think for a lot of people in porn, you know, people kind of see us as these like outer worldly, like inhuman creatures, but the reality is a lot of people get into porn because they weren't able to explore their sexuality in like a safe open environment in their real world, like in their life. So getting into porn kind of really has helped a lot of people are discovering their sexuality on the way. So for a lot of people it really is just like, I like sex and want to have more of it and be able to explore my sexuality in a safe, comfortable way. Because for instance, if my fantasy is I want to be with 3 men at the same time and be worshipped by 3 men and just have like this crazy wild sex with 3 guys, that might be kind of difficult to arrange, on a Tuesday night casually. Like, where do you find that? But once you're in porn, it's like, okay, well, you can set that up decently easily. Make sure everyone's tested. We have very strict testing protocols, so you're safe. Maybe you have someone else there on set. You're on a set with other people, so you're comfortable, you're taken care of, you're being fed, you're being told, oh, do you need water? Like, so yeah, I think for a lot of people, porn really is just like, sex is fine. Let me explore it.
Wow, 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 wow. So you're doing your scenes and things like that. You've done 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys. What's the most guys you've done at one time? And are you requesting this amount of guys, or is this what the studio is saying, hey, look, this is what you're doing today?
It depends. I want to say, like, for my own personal content that I've produced, I think the most was 7. I think I did like a 7-guy gangbang for my own websites. And then I want to say the most for a studio was probably also 7. Well, yeah, I think 7. I think the most was 7. I haven't gone past 7 guys at once.
Okay, so if you out there listening to the Pimp Game podcast, Avery Jane is saying it right now, no more than 7. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, maybe next time it'll be 10.
Okay, 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 okay. I like that. So you've worked with some of the biggest studios out there, Legal Porno, Brazzers. What else that comes to mind? You've worked with them all. To be honest, to be frank, I haven't seen you on Freak Mob or whatever like that. I haven't seen you on that one. You work with Freak Mob too?
Oh yeah, I worked with Freak Mob. We did a really, really good scene. I definitely worked with Freak Mob.
I wasn't sure if I was doing the research. I wasn't sure if I saw a Freak Mob on there. So, is there any studio that you would love to work for that maybe you haven't worked for yet? I don't know, Digital Playground. Maybe you worked with them already. What's up? What's a studio that you haven't work with yet that you would love to work for?
Right now, the main studio that I have yet to work for that I would love to, because I think they're, they're my style. That's my stilo. I love Evil Angel. I love the style. I love how it's shot. I love that it's a predominantly anal website. So right now, Evil Angel is pretty much like the last big one on the list. I've shot for quite a bit of them now, but Evil Angel's like the main one up there that I'd like to get, knock off the list.
I like that. Yo, if you are just joining us, we are live on the Pimp Game Podcast, and we are here with the one and only Avery J. That's right, the anal queen is in the building, and we're here talking to her about her adult film career. All right, so you mentioned anal. You love Evil Angel because anal or what have you. What is your fascination with anal? It's almost becoming taboo now. Looks like a lot of people are doing it. I don't know if you out there passing out some type of survey and all the ladies say, yeah, I want anal. Avery Jane is passing out a survey. What's up with anal? Why do you love anal so much?
Because it's superior. I don't know. There's just something about it. To me, it's a little bit more intense kind of sex. It's a more intense feeling. I think it looks amazing. Like, I enjoy watching anal porn. I think it looks visually pleasing. And I don't know. It's just kind of become my hotspot. Like, I joke and tell everyone, like, yeah, I call it my bussy at this point. It's my butt pussy. Because if I could be anal only, like no pussy, no vag, like I love anal. And I think it kind of started with so a few years back, right around the time when I first started porn, I had an IUD in for birth control, and it really messed with my body. It made penetrative sex painful. Anytime I was having penetrative sex, the guys could say they could feel the IUD hitting their tip, and I could obviously feel it because it was like punching my cervix, and it hurt really bad, and I hated it. So right around that time, I decided, well, what if I just kind of do anal only for a bit while I figure out my body, get my IUD removed, figure out birth control situation. So I had a time where I was literally just only having anal sex, and realized that I like this way better.
Wow. So anal sex is your preferred love language. We're going to call it that. It is your preferred love language. I like that. So for that, I don't know, for some of these women out here who maybe have never done it before, or maybe some dude out there who's never done it before with his partner, how do they need to have a safe experience with that? What do they need to do to prepare, or that woman, what does she need to do to prepare to have a successful anal sex? Anal sex, I don't want to say triumphant, anal sex session.
So I tell everyone it's definitely a walk, not a sprint, because pain can be caused, injury can be caused, like you can hurt yourself if you're doing it the wrong way. And I feel like so many people had an aversion to anal because they've had a bad experience, a bad first experience. A lot of people don't, know what to do. So I always tell everyone, like, start slow, start with the tongue. You don't have to go in there. Just start with a tongue around and, get used to feeling pleasure down there. I tell people start small. You want to go find the little smallest, thinnest, tiniest little butt plug you can find and start with tiny butt plugs. Start with pinkies, use a lot of lube. There's no such thing as too much lube. I know people get weird about lube, but lube is like your best friend. I keep lube everywhere. Lube is in the nightstand. Lube is in the shower. Lube is in my purse. Like, you never know. So, lube. For a lot of people with vaginas, I say use vibrators. Anytime you're getting your butt played with and you're having any type of stimulation, you might want to put a vibrator to your clit too, because if you associate that with pleasure and your body is orgasming as your booty's being stimulated, eventually your body's going to start to correlate the two and you'll associate anal with pleasure. It's all about finding the pleasure spot and not, jamming into it. So like slow and steady.
Okay. So, is there anyone in the industry who maybe you've worked with before, or maybe you haven't worked with, that you want to do an anal scene with now? Is there anybody out there in the industry now that you want to work with?
Honestly, I would love to do an anal scene with Brickzilla. He's giant. Brickzilla, he's a big boy. Like on par with Dread. They're two, they have giant members. And I've worked with Dread. It was a lovely experience. I've met Brickzilla. He was very, very sweet and kind. So now I'd like to take on his giant monster cock.
Okay, all right. Shout out to Brickzilla doing his thing in the pool game. Avery J wants you to hit her up. All right, I like that. So, is it a thing in the industry where maybe you do a scene with somebody? Do you get their phone numbers immediately? That's not allowed? Or how does that work in the industry once you've done a scene with someone and the scene was fulfilling, you loved it, you was, pleasured in every way manageable? How does that work? Do you get their phone number after you're on set?
We do sometimes, it depends. It depends on how the vibe is, how you vibe together. It's a pretty like small industry, as it's a small world in general. So as far as the industry, everyone kind of starts to know everyone, meet everyone. So it's kind of normal to exchange numbers, keep in contact, like, hey, we had a good time on set, and like now I know that you're safe to work with. I caught the vibe. So like, let's exchange numbers and maybe shoot content for our own sites in the future. Sometimes it's like, hey, we had such a great time on set. Like, let's go hang out and like fuck some more, just for fun. Like, it kind of depends on the vibe. I've come across a few people where, I tried to exchange numbers with them and they were like, no, I don't give my number out. And I'm like, well, that's a boundary too. Like, because you never know, how people are going to act or what people's intentions are. And sometimes people just need to get to know you a little bit better first. But, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, well, you were just inside me. So I think we know each other well enough to exchange phone numbers.
Right. All right. Yo, if you are just joining us, you are tuned in to the Pimp Game Podcast, and we are here with the one and only, that's right, Avery Jane. We are talking about how she went from missionary to doggy, now anal full time. We're talking to the anal queen herself on the Pimp Game Podcast. So, let me ask you this. You've been doing anal for a while now, things of that nature. Have you ever done like a huge orgy? I know they had things like that back in the day. Maybe they had, 10 people, 12, 15, 20, whatever. I don't know if I've ever seen you like do like a huge orgy.
I've never done a huge one. I think the most was maybe like, 6 or 7 people fluttering around. At least on camera, in the personal life, it's, been lots of sex parties, swingers parties. Never any like really like huge giant orgies. It's more so breaking off into smaller groups. But I don't really see them shooting it too much these days. And I don't really have too much of an interest in like making that kind of content. Because when we do content trade and we share content,
Okay.
the more people who have the content, that's like the more people selling the same exact product. So, I was invited one time to like a 23-person orgy, and my only thought was like, 23 people selling the same video. Like, oh God, like what, who would buy it from me when they can buy it from 22 other people?
That makes sense. It wouldn't be profitable for you. That makes sense. So one of the people I like in the industry. I think you've worked with her before. Her name is Alexa Vice. Alexa Vice. How was
Yeah.
it working with her? How's her personality in comparison to yours? Was that an awesome time working with Alexa Vice?
Alexa is an absolute angel. She is the second person I met the first time I went to Europe to work in Europe. I met one of the guys who works for the studio, and when I arrived the first time, it was like in the middle of the night. And so, no one was working, no one was really there. It was quiet time. So the guy brings me in the studio, and out comes this girl with a big personality, bright colored hair. She comes out the room, she's still awake, and she immediately just like introduces herself, starts giving me the lowdown on everyone. She was like, listen, when you go to work tomorrow, you're going to think the director hates you. He doesn't. That's just his face. Like, he's fine. He's great. You're going to have a great time. Like, look out for this. Be prepared for this. And she literally just like saved my life, gave me like the best advice. Just really, really made sure that I was like comfortable and mentally prepared to work out there, because she understands that what we shoot out there is a lot more intense than a lot of the stuff we end up shooting here in the States. So she just, it was beautiful to see. I was like, this is like a woman's woman. She's here for the girlies. Like, she's here to make sure that we can be as successful as possible. And we've maintained a friendship ever since. I hope I see her again soon, because I miss her. But no, she was great. And then we finally got to work together, and like that was just a dream come true. Us together, we were just like, we're nonstop back and forth with it. So we had a blast working together.
I like that. I like that. Okay. So even though you love anal, is there anything else that you love? I don't know, cream pie. Do you like to swallow? Do you like I don't know, the guy to come on your chest? What do you like? What is your thing? What else do you like outside of anal?
So outside of anal, I really like oh God. Okay. Outside of anal, well, okay, so I would like to include double anal in that, because I really, really like double anal. But I also love cream pies. I love spit. I have like a spit fetish, and I love feet. Those are like the top three next to anal is gonna be cream pies, spit, and feet.
Mm. Wow, wow, wow. Feet. What's up with the whole feet deal? What's up with that? That's a little off the side of the track. What's up with the feet deal? What's up with that?
I just love feet. So okay, I do a lot of like research into kinks and fetishes and the psychology behind them and where they stem from. And you'll notice that a lot of people with a very, very specific kink or fetish, like they always have some kind of origin story of where it stems from. So my best guess for myself is I grew up dancing. I grew up spending long hours in a dance studio around feet, looking at feet, acknowledging people's points and arches, and like, oh, that's a sickled foot, fix it. And like, it's very foot centric. We're on the ground stretching, and it's like, my face is on the ground. That smells like feet. Feet's everywhere. You're dancing with other people and having to touch their feet and put your, so I was just like, I grew up focused on feet a lot. And then as I grew up, I was like, I actually really like feet. Like, I like noticing when people have pretty feet, pretty arches. I like the way my own feet look. I make a joke all the time about how like feet guys are super into their fetish. Like, a foot guy will never, like, you'll never be confused on who's a foot guy. They like leave comments on Instagram posts all the time. They're like they make comments about feet all the time, and I like to poke fun at them. And one time I was like making fun of them, and I was like, oh my God, like look at all the feet guys. And one of my friends was like, you are a foot guy, like shut up. And I was like, damn, like I feel called out. I am a foot guy.
Wow, 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 wow. So, in looking at you and checking you out, doing my research, stuff like that. One of the things that kind of surprised me about you, you kind of look innocent. Like you don't look like you would do this, do that. Oh, God knows you wouldn't do this. Do you get that a lot from people out like in your everyday world, even on set? Like you just look innocent, like you would never do none of this.
All the time. It's part of my branding. It's the really, really cute, adorable, pretty little girl that does the filthiest, nastiest things you've ever seen. And I love that. I get off on like having that effect for people. A lot of people I'm really, really young. Like they think I'm like 19, 20, baby face, like, oh my God, you're so adorable. And I'm like, I am nearing the 30s and I am one of the most disgusting, filthiest people you'll ever meet. But look at me.
I like that. I like that. So you mentioned kinks and things of that nature earlier. I know you like BDSM. What's up with BDSM? Can you talk to us about that briefly? To those people out there who don't know too much about it, give us an insight on BDSM.
So BDSM is an anagram. It kind of stands for a few things. You can like switch it around. It is bondage and discipline, sadomasochism. You could also say bondage and discipline, slave master. Basically BDSM is playing around with different power dynamics of dominance and submission and all of the intense like psychology that goes with that. Some people do it just, in the bedroom occasionally for fun. Some people are lifestylers and like have made their whole life about their DS dynamics. So, you can see relationships with like dominants and their submissives. You can see femdoms and their slaves. I've met a few master slave relationships where, someone gives their entire being over to their master and their master is responsible for everything. You can't do anything without permission. You have written agreements. A lot of people in the lifestyle, instead of doing traditional marriages with rings, they'll do collaring ceremonies where the master or dominant will get a collar, like a metal collar, any kind of collar. They'll pick it out special for the occasion and they'll do a collaring ceremony to say like, you're mine, you belong to me. And with that you have all of your, you can include sex in that if you want to do the, the whips and the flogging and the rope bondage. All of that comes into play and ties in. BDSM can be sexual or it can be non-sexual, but it's a lifestyle.
I like that. I like that. I like that. So in terms of BDSM, you have a video I saw earlier. I was checking you out where the guy put like fire on your butt or something like that. How was that experience for you? Did it hurt? Did it burn? How was that experience for you in that video? I had to ask you because I saw it. I was just like, wow, I never seen nobody do that. How was that experience for you to have fire on your butt?
It was super, super fun. I've done a lot of fire play throughout the years in my lifetime. And so you're talking about the most recent one. I went to a birthday party and there was a fire performer there. And so I was like, yeah, do me. But it actually feels really, really good and comforting. Essentially what they're using is alcohol. They're putting like alcohol bubbles on you. So when they set that on fire, that's what's burning, not you, but the alcohol that they're putting on you. Now, of course, if you leave it on you for too long, then it'll burn through that and start to burn your skin. So that's why you'll see they'll set you on fire for a few seconds and then they'll wipe it off you. So it's like a really, really nice, intense, warm feeling. Visually, it looks crazy. But fire play is one of my favorite things. I love fire.
Okay. Now, I remember when I was doing my research the other day, it was like, it said happy birthday to you on the scene. And you had like, it was like a gangbang, but it was a happy birthday to Avery Jane. Was that really your birthday or was that made up or something like that? I gotta know, was that your birthday that day?
No, it was, I think 2 days after my birthday. So my birthday happened, and the very next day I hopped on a plane to go work in the Czech Republic. And so then by the time I landed, then it's the next day. They actually told me I was shooting a solo scene. I thought I
Oh,
was just shooting by myself with a big toy anal solo scene that day.
okay. Okay.
And so as a birthday surprise, they surprised me with that birthday cake and a 7-guy triple anal gangbang. And that was my birthday.
Interesting to spend your birthday that way. So even though it's 2 days after, I'm still gonna consider it your birthday because you're still in the same month, probably. So I like that. So let me ask you in terms of parties, things of that nature. You guys have the thing every year, the AVN Awards and stuff like that. Have you been to those awards? How is it? How's the atmosphere? How do the fans treat you at the AVN Awards?
So I've been to AVN twice. My first time was in 2020. I was like brand new to the industry. I want to say I was maybe like 4 months in, and then I went to my first AVN 2020. And then like 2 months later, the world shut down and we went into quarantine, and we didn't have AVN again for like the next 2-3 years. And so my next time going to AVN was this past year in January. Because I'm technically like that new. Right when I started porn, we went into quarantine and COVID. So, my first couple years in porn, everything was shut down. My first year at AVN was a blast, because when I went there, no one really knew me. I was so new that no one really knew me yet. I didn't have a booth. I wasn't signing autographs. Like, I didn't really have a fan base at the time. I was just fluttering around, like a little butterfly, having the time of my life, and it was great. This year for AVN, there was a little bit more responsibility on my plate because now I've built a name, I've built a career. I get to meet my fans now, and my fans were spectacular at AVN. Like, I'm starting to, see familiar faces from over the years. I got to see one of my fans that I met at my very first AV in 2020, and he has stuck with me ever since then. Shout out to Greg. Greg, if you're out there, Greg's been the homie since that first AV in 2020. I'll never forget. And so, getting to see repeat faces this year and meet new fans and just kind of like see the difference on where my career's gone since that first one, it was pretty cool.
I like that. I like that. You mentioned fans. Shout out to Greg out there. Let me ask you, do you sleep with your fans? I know some porn stars say they might do it. Is that a real thing? Does Avery Jane give up a little sugar to the fans?
I typically don't. I've seen fans and taken clients from time to time, like in the past before I was really doing porn. And it just wasn't for me. I'm not the biggest fan of like, meeting strangers from the internet. Like, I'm even weird about Tinder and dating apps, even from way back when. Like, my preferred method of meeting people really is just kind of like meeting people in the wild and catching the vibe. And I had started to kind of run into an issue where, because I shoot hardcore content and a lot of my content really it's rough, it's wild, it's a lot. What was happening was anytime I would like meet guys that were fans of me and would like try to hook up with them, they assumed that like that is the sex to have with me. So, I was like hooking up with guys, having one night stands, and because they saw it in one of my pornos, they would like yank me by the hair and like hit me in the face and then try to like, shove their dick in my ass dry, like no conversation, no warning, no consent, like no, nothing. And I had to explain to them, you just assaulted me. Like what we do on camera, we have intense discussions beforehand. We're more familiar with each other. We know what we're doing on a professional level. A lot of it really is performance, and we're making it look more intense than it is. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. You can't just like meet a girl and punch her in the face the first time you meet her. Like you can't do that. Like, you still have to get consent for sex acts. So now typically I try to avoid fucking fans because I'm so scared of that happening that
Okay.
I prefer to hook up with people that have no idea who I am. Um, I just, as much as I love my fans, as much as I love them and I think they're awesome, unless I really, really, really like connect with someone and they can interact with me in a way that makes me feel like safe and seen as like a whole human being and not just as what they see in the videos. Occasionally I'll like talk to fans, but I'm very, very picky about it now.
Okay, that's respectable. I understand that. I think for some people, it's difficult for them to separate what they see versus reality. And I think that's hard for a lot of people. So if someone starts acting some way, they might think that's really who they are, when really that's not who they are.
Exactly, exactly. A lot of it's marketing. A lot of it really is just trying to like, create a persona for the fans. There might be a day I like put out a tweet that, oh, I'm so horny. I'm just gonna die if like I don't have dick in me right now because it's marketing. When really I'm like, at home in my pajamas with a cold, like feeling like crap. But I'm like, I still have to engage. Avery Jane needs to be playful. Like sometimes it's marketing. So, if I say something like, pull my hair and choke me and spit on me because I'm just a fuckhole to be used, like that's my fun role play when I'm having sex and like, marketing my content. It's not I'm gonna walk outside and someone's gonna go, oh, look at that fuckhole. Let's go fuck her right here outside at the gas station, and punch her. Like, you have to understand reality versus the internet. Not everything on the internet's 100% real.
It's true. That is true. So, Avery Jane, how many times is, I don't know, during a given week, 7 days a week, how often is Avery Jane having sex in a month's time? How often do you need it?
It depends. It really, really depends for me. I know a lot of people think that we're all like these nymphos that are just like fucking all day, every day. But that's definitely not the case either. I know a lot of asexual porn stars. I know a lot of porn stars that are like, I fuck for work only. I haven't had sex in my personal life in 4 years. Like it's very, very real. For myself, um, oh my God, this is gonna be like such a soft girl thing to say, but for myself, I have a lot of sex when I am like in love or infatuated with someone. If I'm seeing people that I'm really into, I could have sex as much as like 4 times a day, every day. I've had relationships where we just could not get off of each other and we were going at it 3 to 4 times a day, every day, for like 2 weeks in a row. But then, when I'm single and I'm going through my moods and my phases and I'm like, ew, nobody touched me. Like I could go for months without sex because I'm focusing on other things, I'm like, I got other ways of stimulation. I read, I watch TV, I pole dance, I do activities, I do so much stuff sometimes. Sometimes I'm so busy editing the porn and, trying to sell the porn that I'm like, I don't even need to make the porn right now. Like I'm good. I don't feel sexually starved. I think I've had a lot of great sex in my life and I know I will continue to, so I never really feel starved for it. So depending, I could be fucking nonstop all day or I could not fuck for 2 months.
I like that. It's a respectable answer. I'm digging that. I like that. So, does Avery Jane have a, I don't know, celebrity crush out there? If you do, who is it? Who's the guy that can get it? If Avery Jane saw him today, who's Avery Jane's celebrity crush?
I have a few. I probably have a few, but right now, I'm really digging Rick Ross. I met him recently. I was on a TV show with him actually as an extra, and he was really, really funny. And he kept making jokes about buying me a G-Wagon. So Rick, if you hear this, I'm still waiting. And then, after that, I kind of started following him on social media because I'm not a big celebrity person. Like, I don't really like fan over people too often. I try not to pay attention to too much like celebrity news. I don't follow that many celebrities on social media, but I was like, okay, well, like I met the man, so like let me go check him out. And he's just so like he has such a big personality. He's like a little goofball. He's funny. I'm like, he's like a big teddy bear. So right now I'm kind of like sprung on Rick Ross.
I like that. Rick Ross, Rose. Make sure you hit up Avery Jane. She is feeling you. And oh, make sure don't forget about that G Wagon. Because she
I'm
definitely
waiting
wants
for
it.
you, Daddy. I'm waiting for you.
All right. So today's topic of the show is Zion Williamson. He had a girl that's also in the adult industry, Mariah Mills. She put him on blast, Front Street. She put him on Front Street about him having an outside baby with another girl, and she's supposed to be the main chick. What's your thoughts on that? Does that happen all the time in the industry where you got these ball players dealing with adult film entertainers? Does it happen more often than not?
So it does. The way, okay, here's how I describe the phenomenon. So as porn stars, I would never consider us like A-list celebrities. We don't have that much reach. We're not really household names, no one's talking about, oh, that Avery Jane gangbang that I love, at the dinner table with their family. Porn kind of limits you to your audience. But we do have a lot of these A-list, B-list celebrities, musicians, ball players, the athletes, the rappers. All of them know exactly who we are. They all follow all of us. Not, they don't follow us. That's the thing. They can't publicly show support. They can't publicly follow the sex workers. They probably have really good PR teams that tell them you can't follow the sex workers. There's a lot of public shame and stigma surrounding what we do and who we are. But all of the celebrities watch us and know exactly who we are and, watch our content and slide in our DMs all the time. And so, of course, some of the girlies, do their thing and meet the guys. We've all kind of had our little like, celebrity moments. But the gag is you're not supposed to fall in love with the tricks, you're not supposed to fall in love with the tricks, and you're not supposed to put them on blast because that's part of the arrangement. When you're living this life, part of the arrangement is like money is involved and money comes with the territory and people deserve their privacy. And it's like, if you're getting paid or even if you're not getting paid, like, say you are in a relationship with that ball player, like, you don't put your man on blast. You don't tell the world that business because now you're just kind of ruining the game for the rest of us. Now no one's going to trust us. No one's going to want to slide in the DMs because who knows when that DM's going to pop up on Twitter, like, so I get it. I'm sure, it's very alluring to like fall in love with these people. With the celebrities and the what comes with it. But yeah, I don't know. That was wild. I'm like, I don't even know who Zion is. I've never met her, but the internet's been blowing up with it. And I'm just like, for any celebrities out there, I don't talk.
All right. Avery J is quiet. Avery J is quiet. So you were in AVN magazine as well as Hustler magazine. How was that for you? Those are two prominent magazines out here in this world. To say the least, you are very important if you are in those magazines. How was that for you?
It was very surreal. Because, working in adult retail, I used to sell these magazines to people and, I used to stock the magazines on the shelves, and to now be someone featured in the magazines, it's huge. It's epic. I never thought I would ever get those opportunities. I never thought I'd really like make it this far in my career in general. So from going from an employee of Hustler, a sales associate, a manager at Hustler stores to now being featured in Hustler magazine. It's so surreal. Like, what is this life?
All right, I like that. I like that. I really like that. So, with you being in Hustler magazine, I also know that by you having sex and things like that, traveling the world, all of that, different things going on. What is a fantasy that you have, or maybe something you had done that was crazy sexually? What's the wildest thing that Avery Jane has done sexually?
Oh God, that's so hard to answer because it's so subjective. I've done like so many crazy things that I'm like, I don't know what people would consider the craziest at this point, like, is it the gangbangs? Is it like I remember one time my partner at the time and we like put on a BDSM performance at a dungeon where he like wrapped me up in saran wrap and then hung me upside down from the ceiling and then like hit me with a baseball bat and then made me suck his dick all while I'm like hanging upside down like a bat from saran wrap in front of a crowd full of people. Like that might be considered. Or, I've done like was it a 6-guy? I just recently shot, I think it was like a 6-guy gangbang with another girl present, and her job was to literally just fist me. So throughout the entire video, we're doing different variations of like, double penetration with her fist also in there somewhere, or like double anal with her fist inside my vagina, or like both of her fists inside both my holes, or like, someone had a dick inside my ass and she's like jacking them off inside me. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Wow, 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 wow. That is crazy. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right. So, for that young girl out there who wants to be the next Avery Jane, or that young dude out there who wants to be the next Avery Jane, what would you tell them they need to watch out for if they want to get into the adult film industry?
I would tell them to think on it hard. Think on it really, really hard before you do it. Because I know a lot of people think it's like glitz and glam and, oh, I just get to like have sex with pretty people and make millions of dollars and like that's it. But it's not. It's very taxing on the body. It's very taxing on you mentally. You really, really have to like be a centered person to not get lost in it. You have to be okay with the fact that, your whole life will change immediately. Your whole family will see the way you have sex. Everyone you've ever known will see the way you have sex. Everyone in the world will judge you for it. You will become a part of a stigmatized community of people. Everyone will view you differently. A lot of people will view you as someone not worthy of basic human respect. A lot of people will view you as someone not worthy of life. A lot of people will hate you. They will wish death on you. But it's also very, very freeing. It's a very, very freeing career, a very, very, it's a career that can provide opportunities if you're going about it the right way and if you're going about it level-headed. You have to remember it's a business. It's not a dating service. It's not a way to just like get some pussy or like deal with your sexual traumas. Like, it's a business and we're here to work. We're here to make money. We're here to make the bag. So, as long as you understand these things and have a clear grasp on that, good luck.
All right, all right, all right. So, if someone wants to, I don't know, potentially work with you and they're in the industry, or they want, I don't know, reach out to your management, whatever, maybe do some type of scene production, whatever, how do they reach out and get in contact with Avery J?
So I'm currently self-booking. I handle everything directly. I think I have like info up on my Twitter. Honestly, Twitter is probably the best way to navigate and network in terms of working. Twitter is basically like your repertoire of your work. It's how you show the work you've been putting in, your following, your fan base, your content, what you have to offer, what your content style is. So honestly, like connecting through Twitter, through Instagram, sending emails. But I've slowed down a lot on collabs this past year. I've really slowed down a lot. I think particularly because I was shooting so much overseas, and that gets kind of exhausting, that I'm like, I'm doing so much studio work over there that I kind of want to come home and just chill out. So I'm definitely like slowing down on collabs, focusing more so on like paid work, paid opportunities, and just kind of like revamping what I am doing and the direction I'm going with my career and like what I want to do next. But I always keep an open mind. I'm constantly like looking at people and the work they're doing and thinking of future projects all the time.
Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So for all those people who've been rocking with you since 4 years ago, since the retail store, since you started missionary position, doggy, now anal, since the people who've been rocking with you all those times, those years, any final thoughts out there for your fans before we sign off on Pimp Game?
Yeah, to my fans, I would just want to say, without y'all, I would have nothing. It really is the fans that are the driving force for this work. We can try to impress the studios and the producers and all we want, but it's like at the end of the day, I have my job and my career and my opportunities and like this ability to just live my life freely, existing as myself how I want to, because my fans have allowed it to be that way. So I'm eternally grateful. I love you guys. Without you, I don't exist. Avery Jane doesn't exist without Avery Jane fans. So I so much love.
All right. So much love from Avery Jane. All right. So tell everybody who you chilling with.
You guys, I'm chilling with Kenny D from the Pimp Game podcast. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube.
I like that. And before we let you go, I like to say thank you to all my viewers out there for tuning in, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's right. You're going to go to iamkennyd and subscribe, and make sure you turn those notifications on so when we upload videos, you are the first to get it. And last but not least, we like to thank the one and only, the beautiful diva. That's right. Miss Anal Queen, Avery J, for blessing us with her presence on the show. I see you next time on Pimp Game. You don't want to miss it. Holla.
Audio Jungle.